All right, I got a few dryers I'm putting in. Before we start, I got to convert these to propane. So we got 3 dryers, and these are the tools I'm using. A couple screwdrivers, 3/8, 8mm, and then this is an 8mm on a driver, and then this is the kit that you buy. So these are Roper, which is basically a Whirlpool. And if you buy this kit, it converts it to either butane or propane. There's 2 different jets in here. The smaller one is for butane, and then the larger one is for propane. And then if you have a certain regulator, you have to put this little tip in. I don't have this regulator, so I'm not going to use it. Anyways, also gloves. Definitely need gloves, because when you open this up, these edges are super sharp, and you'll cut yourself up pretty good. Also, I'm putting a new gas line on, and this is my adapter to go from a 3/8 pipe that comes out of the back of the dryer to a 1/2-inch flare, which that's what this is right here, a 1/2-inch gas line. And then that goes to my 1/2-inch gas line down there. So let's get started. Right, now we're going to take apart these brand new dryers. First thing is remove vent screen. Take out 2 screws, 2 Phillips screws. This, just put a screwdriver under here, and you're going to pull forward as you pull up. Forward and up. Both of them. Forward and up. And these edges are really sharp, that's why I say gloves. Alright, you got to disconnect your door switch. Pull open the tab, take them apart. You got 2 screws. These are 8mm screws. Now hold on to the drum. I usually just hold it right back here. And then this, pull this up. As you pull it up, this whole door comes off, the whole front panel. Set that aside. Now the drum is loose. Now that we have the door off, we need to take off the belt. So, what you do, very carefully, you gotta hold the drum up. Usually I put a block of wood under there on my knee. And then hold this back with one hand, and then take the belt off. And that's it. And when you do that, the drum will come loose. So I'll go ahead and pull the drum out. Now that the drum is out, you can see the burner assembly. So, see this one right here, you can rotate this. It says natural gas or liquid propane. So if you turn this from natural gas to liquid propane, that's all you have to do in this regulator. If you don't have this tied, then you have to use that little, I don't know what you call it, the little orifice needle thing. But this one, you don't. You just turn that. What we do have to replace is this jet right in here. That's what we're going to get to. Now, you can kind of get a wrench in there, but my wrench doesn't fit on there very good. So if you take these 2 screws out right here, the 8mm right here, those 2, take those 2 out, then this whole tube assembly comes off. So you can just move it forward a little bit to get out of the way, and then you can take that jet out. I'll show you how now. All right, so I want to show, if you have this type of regulator, not this one, if you have this one, then you have to use this, I guess what they call a blocking pin. But I don't have that. I have this style. And this style, you just rotate it from natural gas to propane. So in this kit, we don't need this part. We'll just throw it aside. Now also, there are 2 different orifices. There's a 54 for propane and 55 for butane. So we need to find the one that has, I don't know if you can see it, this one says 54 on it. Now, sometimes you have a wrench that will get a good grip on here. but it's sometimes it'll strip, or sometimes you can't get it. So let me show you the other way. If you can get it this way, great. It's kind of a pain to get it threaded out and all that, so I'm going to show you how to take off this whole burner tube, and that's why I have this 8mm wrench, or you can use 8mm socket on a ratchet if you have it. Now I can just set this aside, and now I can get right on this jet. Let me show you what it looks like. That's all it is, this right there. So as you can see, that one's quite a bit bigger than the one I have here. That one's a lot smaller. So the natural gas is at 42, and the one we're installing for propane is at 54. See the difference in those two? This is to make sure your air-fuel mixture is correct. If you don't have it on there, it'll run way too rich. Don't have to get it super tight, but snug it up pretty good. Now I'm going to put this tube back on. Make sure it fits, needs to slide all the way back. There's a little shoulder here that needs to slide up and over. There it is. Okay, now don't forget you have to change your regulator. Pop these off just so I can get some room in here. Now, I don't have the proper tool to grab this and turn it, but what you can do is it's actually real easy to turn. You can just grab a screwdriver and just kind of force it over. Now you see it's set for propane. I'll put these plugs back on, make sure they snap in. All right. So while we're in here, I wanted to show you kind of how this works. So you've got your gas line that comes from the back. That's where your gas feeds in. You got a regulator right here. And you got two solenoids. It's a safety to have two of them together. And then right here, you have your orifice right there, and it mixes with air right here. You have your igniter right there, and then your flame goes in there. There's a flame sensor on the side to make sure the flame's lit, and basically the flame goes through that tube. It goes up through here, so the hot air comes out here in the dryer, and then the exhaust goes through here, past the fan, and then out the back. All right, let's put the drum back on. This just sets in here. Doesn't even clip, just the screen tension holds it in place. Make sure when you're putting the drum on, make sure the felt is in the right place on the back. It's kind of a pain to do because this felt right there gets in the way. So you have to get it on the rollers, and then I rotate it a little bit. Oops, there's instructions. To make sure that felt is all the way around. All right, I got my knee on the drum to hold it up. Put this in. The belt goes over this pulley and through the hole. You can pull the pulley back and then put it around the motor, just like that. And when I got it out, I like to rotate it a little bit. Just make sure we got it all right. Good. Now the hardest part is getting this door back on. So you've got just squares right here, and that fits on these and slides down into those. So you're going to put the square over that and then press it down. And at the top, you've got screws that go into the door. All right. Again, make sure you have gloves on. I'm going to hold the drum up with my hand over here. In my other hand, I'm going to pick up this door. This is best if you have a couple of people to help you, or at least one other person to help you. Try it again this time. This time, not dropping any screws. That's why I dropped it. This thing was off. Make sure the drum turns. That's good. Make sure to connect these plugs. Okay. The top just comes down, snaps in place. Push this down and you line up the screw hole. Put the screw back in. Don't drop this screw. If you drop the screw, you get to take apart the whole back. Put your wet trap in. In the kit, they come with these labels as well. You want to make sure to put these labels on here so if anybody else uses this machine, they know it's been converted for propane. Put the label right here in the door. There we go.